And the man you saw a short while ago is in the studio. Good morning, Doc, and thanks so much for me this morning on Being the Surface.
Good morning.
Let's start from this point. Who is Dr. Pakwesi Nduom?
I really would like many people to know that, as I keep constantly saying, I am a boy from in all its respects. Fishing, playing around, relatively small town, historic town, but I am someone born by two teachers. My mother was a teacher from the beginning until she passed away, and formed her own private school, which incidentally scored 100% at the last BECE examinations in Elmina. My father was a teacher. He went into politics after the 1966 school. He went back into teaching. So it's from that background. We didn't have a lot, but my parents encouraged me to go to school, to stay in school. They took me from Elmina for a year and a half or so, the bus, every morning from Elmina to Cape Coast, to St. Augustine's practice school, to go to school until I got into St. Augustine's college. And it is through all of that, it is through the education and working hard that I had a bit of luck to get a scholarship to spend 1 year in high school in the US. And that also marked a significant turnaround in my life. But another part of me is my faith. I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic, a mass server from very little. And I believe that your faith strengthens you. Not that a Catholic is better than anybody else. I honor the faith of other people. My faith is important because it keeps you disciplined. It makes you become straightforward. And because of my faith, I admit that I'm human and that I make mistakes. And that as Catholics, when you make a mistake, you go and confess your sins. But as a human being, I grieve over my mistakes. When they are pointed out, I work hard to try and resolve them. But then when you come into politics, I want people to understand. For me, politics is public service. You do it for the greater good of the people, not for your own personal benefit. And it is after you've strengthened yourself, you've learned the ropes. And for me, from assembly, elected to member of parliament, elected, having been in government, being a cabinet minister, to say that now I'm ready. For me to be given the highest job in the land. And when it comes to our society, I believe in inclusiveness. I really do. In a country like Ghana, we can't divide ourselves too sharply and into ethnic groups or even politically. Yes, when it comes to campaigning, we will campaign. We should. And all of us, because we have different ideologies. But as soon as we close the election, a president becomes a president for all of Ghanaians. And so all of the best people we have are some of the ones that we should put into government and to make sure that we have the best talent. And it's not just about government or being a minister or whatever. It is also that society should be inclusive enough so that if we're given a contract to someone, let's give it to the best contract. Let's not worry about political party or ethnic affiliation they have. Whatever it is that we want. And then finally, as far as I'm concerned, being Ghanaian is everything. Is everything. Asasi or Ghana for
Right.
Anything that is good must go to the Ghanaian. And so I say that if we have a contract, let's give it to the Ghanaian. Let's use the government's purchasing power to help the Ghanaian private sector. Let's not just say free market, free markets.
Your father was a politician, and I'm sure a lot of influence from there. A thing that you should know by now.
Oh, well, my father, interestingly enough, in the early 50s, he and others, they had their own political party. They had a symbol. The symbol was the paddle that the fishermen use, the paddle.
Right.
Okay.
What we call
and then tabun, yes.
Right.
And they joined the CPP. And my father actually was a regional organizer for the Young Pioneers in the Central Region. And so after all of that, obviously, come home, they will talk, I will listen, you learn something. My father was proud to serve, and proud to be a Ghanaian. And he was initially against my even traveling to go outside of the country to get to further my education. And he always said that no matter what you do in private life, no matter what you do, that if you are able to do something in public service that is positive, you serve the needs of millions and millions of Ghanaians. And I've always believed in that, and it has stayed with me.
And it's pushing you up and up and up. The public has a perception that politicians come to enrich themselves. You said that politics is public service.
Yes.
How do you reconcile the two?
Well, unfortunately, we have people who will get into any kind of profession or any kind of service for the wrong reasons. But I do believe that we have here in Ghana politicians who are in it to serve. I am thankful to God that I've got a good education. I was able to see the world. Some of the best people, some of the best professionals in the world, served some of the best companies as a consultant. And that here in Ghana, been able to start services that are in all the 10 regions and employ over 2,000 people. And so what I need to eat, where to sleep, you know, how to travel.
That's
those
not
things,
a problem.
It's not a problem. And so what else should I do? What else?
You need to serve the public.
I have to, as part of what my faith tells me, and as part of what my upbringing tells me, that I must also do something so that somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's granddaughter, somebody's grandchild, someone else can also see some opportunity and do something good with his life. That for me is what motivates me. And if there is something that is worth doing, if it's worth doing, you persevere, you persist, and you make sure that you work. If you go to an examination and you fail, and you know you want to get ahead in life,
You move on.
you don't go and sleep that, oh, I failed. Oh, no. You find better
So
notes.
that's why you're not even giving up after perhaps the CPP not recording very significant votes in the past elections.
Oh, my friend, you are being charitable. It was not a matter of not having significant. We did badly, very poorly. And I mean, I was more than disappointed by that. The worst failure in my life.
We'll talk about the CPP performance, but you are an accomplished business person, if I should put it that way. How did you do it?
Well, it all, you know, let me go back to Senegal, because when I was in sixth form, I managed what they call the talk shop for the school. That's where you sold the buffet and the soft drinks and the sardines and whatever. And I'll go to the former GNTC, buys, and will come and sell to the students. And when I was a child, my grandfather baked bread. And so we helped in kneading the dough and whatever, and the bread outside in the street, and so on and so forth. So there was a bit of enterprise growing up in my family. But, you know, when I was in the US, I had the opportunity to join the company that at that time was called Touche Ross. I had a good mentor, very a good mentor, who helped me and supported me to grow up in the company, the man called Don Wood. He helped me, and so within 5 years of joining the company, I became a partner. When I say a partner, it's a shareholder,
right,
in Deloitte and Touche at that time. And out of over 2,000 partners, I was one of 5 who had black or African origin. It was me from Africa. There's one, Brian Anderson, from Jamaica, and 3 others, Africans, who were there. And we were proud to be the few amongst the many, showing, if you will, our excellence there. From there, worked on, were there. And we were proud to be the few amongst the many, showing, if you will, our excellence there. From there, worked on and worked on, eventually got back to Ghana. And we started businesses here small, in a small way, with Coconut Grove in Elmina, to Accra, to Obuasi. We are hoping soon to go to Tamale and to Wa. We started Gold Coast Security in Accra. We're in Wa, we're in Bolga, we're in Kumasi, we're in Sunyani,
and this
so on
is
and
what
so
you
forth.
want to translate on a platform, to lead the CPP to rule Ghana, to govern Ghana.